Hey everyone. Today I want to talk a little bit about CHAZ, or the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone that's developed up in Seattle, Washington. Now, this group of protesters has effectively been able to create a community unto themselves that's separate from the rest of the area by removing police presence. Now, of course, this isn't a utopia. There are still disagreements, there are still struggles with shop owners, there are still things that are like a protest, like a development, that are ongoing, that are chaotic, that is hard to manage. But at the same time, there are a lot of pros to this group of protesters. They've been able to develop town halls. They've effectively created a border between themselves and the rest of Seattle. They have also been able to start developing a small market, participating in community events, things like that, that are showing interest in the idea of unity, of self-preservation of that group, and of trying to create their own identity. Now, this is something that is particularly exciting as a micronationalist because I see the potential in this. You know, I see that this is something that is right now kind of shaky. But I think if these protesters went about developing something of their own, went about trying to organize and trying to figure things out, of course they would have to start working with shop owners and community leaders to develop this area as something unique. That may be difficult because of their attachment to Seattle and its connections, but if they could offer better deals, better attraction for their customers, they could have something here. If they could develop a unique interest in their product, if they could build something that is self-contained and at the same time is able to peacefully connect with the rest of Seattle, that would be a huge stepping stone towards something that could become a larger movement. This is something that is particularly, worrisome as far as those issues are concerned. But it should definitely be something that is peaceful. It should definitely be something that is promoting of the will of the people inside that zone, because ultimately the people who live there should be the people that make it up, and the people who are closest to that area should be the ones that are supporting it, because they're the boundary layer. They're the thing that is separating this zone from the rest of the city. So the more people in the community can come out and do that, the more that they can start to have dialogues with community leaders, with business owners, the better. This could become something unique. This could become something interesting. This could become the Republic of CHAZ or something like that, if they so chose. It's a precedent that will lay a foundation for a future of this sort of event in U.S. history. And I certainly hope it is done well. It can be done well by both the protesters and by the larger Seattle government, and to a larger extent the United States government. As the United States, this should be looked at as something, in my opinion, to see as the will of a group of people. Now, if the U.S. government chooses to respond, in friendly manner, or in, at very least, an understanding of this as potentially a backlash of some of the ways that the government in the area has developed, or the government of the United States has developed, it will potentially allow for growth and reunification, if that's what the United States seeks from this group, and if that's what this group seeks. But at the same time, I have seen a lot of backlash from the Trump administration talking about this event, talking about how he doesn't feel like it's, he feels like these people are domestic terrorists, he calls them. This is a large community issue. This is something that is very hard to deal with and very hard to ascribe to any one specific person. These are large communities of individuals who have gathered together saying, we have a specific interest here, we have something that we're trying to build, we have something that we're trying to make, and ultimately we should listen to them. Whether that is something that comes out as one unified voice, or whether that is something that comes out in potentially many voices in many ways. Whether this becomes something that is a unique territory into itself, or whether it becomes a series of movements that affect United States history, either way, this is important. And either way, I think we can learn from it. So I'm excited to see the future. I hope things calm down there. It's particularly intense, especially right now. And I want to wish everybody well. I hope everybody's doing all right. I know things are still, up in the air as to how long-term this is going to be. But I know there's a way to do this right. I know there's a way to have this discourse that is positive, and I think some of the people in this CHAZ group, I think the organization of this could be really interesting and a path toward doing that. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for hanging out, and I will see you next time.